Hello and welcome back to another Frost Devlog. For anybody new here, Frost is a 2D top-down Souls-like. The first thing I'd like to show you today is the lantern. Wow! Shiny! The lantern itself will provide light, warmth and various weapon buffs. The lantern itself will be an item you will find early on in the game and which you will be able to upgrade as you progress. Now, I'd show you more of the system I just described, but just like most of the other things I show you, it's not yet fully implemented. I realized now that for the past few devlogs, which is all of them, I never really showed you the currently available weapons. So here's the first batch of weapons that are actually implemented. Huh, that's a first. So, we got all the good stuff here, like a sword, a mace, a warhammer, an axe, a cistus, a claw, a dagger. Ooh, this one's a classic, a shovel. An iron club, a saber, a rapier, a pickaxe. Hey, just like Minecraft. Then also a flail. This one is cool in particular in how easy it was to make. I just used the Unity's 2D hint system. It didn't work, so after a while I decided to do it myself. I sat down and started thinking on how to go about implementing it. And in hindsight, I did not think for long enough. Okay, so the flail, right? There are two key things I need to do. The first one is getting the motion of the star, and the second one is getting the chain between the handle and the star while the weapon is in mid-swing. If we take a closer look at the star's motion itself, we can see that it just goes around the handle in a particular curve. And then, for the chain, I just need to make another curve that goes from the handle to the star. Easy. I implemented the movement of the flail with a simple slurp function, which makes the star go from point A to point B in a curve. And then for the chain, I implemented the Bezier curves. Oh, look at that! My maths degree is actually coming in handy. And it worked like a charm. Well, no. Maybe not. Okay, now it works exactly as I intended. Emphasis on how I intended. Because if you take a closer look, you may see that something is off. So after that, I realized that the thing I envisioned was wrong from the start. Then I sat down on my thinking chair again and thought about how the flail actually works. Earlier, I mentioned that the star goes in a curve around the handle. Well, as it turns out, this isn't just any curve, it's just a circle. The star just goes in a circle since it's pulling all its weight on the chain. And for the chain itself, it's just a straight line. Of course, this is a bit simplified than the actual physics of the flail, but hey, look at the game. It's kind of funny I tried using some fancy curves, while the right answer was just a circle and a straight line. So yeah, that was an afternoon well spent, but it would still be cool if I could use the Bezier curve for something else. Well, anyways, here's the flail now, and it do be looking kinda good, now that it works the way it's supposed to. And that's the last one-handed weapon for now. Now for some of the two-handed weapons. Just a heads up, the current animations you will see for the two-handed weapons are, You guessed it, a placeholder. Now for the big boy weapons. We have a great warhammer, a halberd, an iron staff, a war scythe, and lastly, the best weapon, the Zweihander. So that's all the weapons for now.
No.
There are still a couple of weapons that will come in the future, and these will behave differently, mechanically and gameplay wise, which is also a reason they aren't implemented yet. For example, I'll make a bow and a crossbow, and then also some more special stuff. Now moving from the player to the enemies. I finally finished designing the first boss of the game. Yay! Now before I show you the boss, you can try and guess what he looks like. That's right, you guessed it, it's another tree. Whoa, I know, the creativity in this place is off the chart. Anyways, meet the Verdant Sentinel. This guy's whole shtick is that he just wants to protect the forest. And what's the best way of doing that? Well, with violence of course. That's why he attacks you on sight, even though you're not really a threat to the grove, but he doesn't really know that. Neither does he really care. He's still a tree after all, a big scary tree. So, his moveset. He has 4 different attacks, 2 range attacks and 2 melee attacks. Here's them in action. And like any good boss, he has 2 phases. What does that mean exactly? Well, when he enters his second phase, his original 4 attacks evolve, making them more dangerous. And here's the evolved attacks. Regarding the armor mechanic in the game, all enemies in this area start with armor and lose it when reaching half health. This boss takes the same idea and just doubles it, making it a simple step forward for the new player to get used to the mechanic. So, the fight itself looks like this. You first break his armor, then beat him some more. After reaching half health, he enters his second phase. Here he gains his armor back, and we repeat the process one more time. And this marks the first area of the game complete. It's kinda strange knowing I took over a year just to finish the first area and not really have much to show for it. Not to mention it still needs some polish here and there, and also the fact that I keep showing you things that are half-baked. I know, I shouldn't really be concerning myself with these things. Game development just takes time, and especially since I'm working on it alone and in my spare time. But at times like this, I must also remind myself that even if there isn't much to show, a lot still has been done. Looking at the code alone reveals this immediately. Not only is there a lot of it, it's also quite optimized. Of course, that's all just my opinion, so take that as you will. However, despite everything, my vision for the game is big and I want to do it justice by my standards. However that might turn out. I want to make this game. So why am I telling you this? Well, there's no really point to it. Just sharing my thoughts. And I'm also a stubborn person, so declaring this to you guys gives me some motivation. But hey, in the end of the day, I'm having fun developing Frost, despite all its difficulties, so in the end, it really doesn't matter. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk, hope it was at least somehow entertaining, stay safe, and have a nice day.